hi, it's Dave from Driving Venture. Welcome back to the channel. And yes, it's another episode of Costco Drives. Well, in today's episode, I'm going to cover off my thoughts around the Toyota GR Yaris. Hope you guys have watched that video. It was a very exciting car, so we're going to talk a bit more about that. Also, I'm going to talk about the fab 718 GT4, which did surprise me a little bit, and hopefully you've watched that video that went out recently too. I've got to be careful because sometimes I record these videos and from a sequencing point of view you might have just caught a little glimpse of a thumb coming across the shot there, because yes, it's lockdown. We've got our kids back off school again.
Woo!
And so I may get one or two little interruptions and cameo appearances, but I'm sure she'll want to put some words in too as we carry on our journey to Costco. We're also going to talk a little bit more around the GT3 RS and where's the car gone. And has it disappeared? Well, no, it hasn't. It's tucked away in the garage, and it perhaps will be making an appearance very soon. And maybe I should put it on one of the Costco drives, but we've had a few issues with the sound of some of the videos, we accept that, so we've just had to sort of like think about ways of improving upon that. So I've gone for like a mic which I can stick on my like clothes here, and that'll pick up my voice better. But when you're driving the GT3 with the mic off the camera set up, that flat 6 and IP exhaust kind of drowns me out a bit. So anyway, I'm gonna put the car back on the channel again very soon, because
it's a great car, guys. It's a great car. It's got amazing juice.
Yeah, so it's going to be on the channel again soon, and so stay tuned for that. So anyway, let's also tell you what's coming up. We're also going to talk about Driving Venture Club. Whether I'll call it Driving Venture Club, I don't know, but anyway, Driving Venture Club, that's the way it's going. And as you know, we're in the middle of another lockdown.
It's not good,
January
guys.
2021. Anyway, never mind. So let's talk about the Toyota GR Yaris, and thanks very much for you guys who put comments in and contacted me about that car. I think there's been a few more cars sold from the dealer at Wigan there, based on the video that I did. I'm not saying I've encouraged thousands and thousands of sales that I know of, but nonetheless, one or two sales I've gone through, I think, because of that car. And I think you do need to be quick, because allocations are going, and you may be into 2022 before very long. So what do I like about the Toyota GR? Well, the thing about YouTube is often you have people like me and other YouTubers, and they're basically presenting cars and covering cars at a stratospheric level. They're at a level that people, it's a bit of a pipe dream, let's be honest. They're not perhaps ever going to get to the stage of having an RS or having a GT3 or even maybe a GT4, but they love to watch it and they love to get captivated by the content. But here comes a car at £34,000, nicely specced, a pocket rocket, a car which people can actually get and can actually perhaps afford to buy. And I think that's good that we do cover cars off like that, and it's had lots and lots of rave reviews. I think my review speaks for itself. I thought it was a car that will reward the driver, very thrilling to drive and very cool to own and have on the driveway or in the garage. Just a car which kind of does everything for the modern age in terms of the kit that's in it. And the Japanese, it's just one set of options when you buy the car. The circuit pack car we had, I think it's just a great package car, and I think that it will sell very, very well. The hot hatch community, I've got something to look forward to, and I'll talk more about the hot hatch and Driving Venture Club a bit later in the video. So I think it's a car that has to be taken seriously. It's been reviewed by serious motoring journalists, and for me, rightly so. And I haven't seen a bad review, and I think, as I say, other than the seating position, which was for me a little bit high, maybe you can adjust it, maybe you can put a different seat in and get it lower, I don't know. But I think if it sat a little bit lower, when you were sat driving it, I think it would excite the driver a little bit more. It would feel a bit better, I think, when you're driving it. But it's a sensational little car to have and to own. So if you're thinking about one, get your skates on, hurry up, because I think you might be waiting.
Yeah.
I heard a message from a guy had a message from a guy, and he's now going to have to wait until September, October 2021 later this year to get his car. So and he just put the order in. So 8-month wait, long time. Okay, 718 GT4. I perhaps could have put in the video a little bit more around the comparison of the 981, but is it really a comparison? Well, probably it is, but it's the next generation car. It's got the next generation suspension, it's got the next generation engine, it's got the next generation PCM module for all of the sort of communication and navigation and connecting to your phone and all the rest of it. So in those terms, yes, it is a step on. I thought the comfort of the car, but also not only being comfortable but having the sharp suspension, the GT feel, was impressive. And the noise, having driven the car more, yes, I think it does sound good. It's just a little bit of a step down from the 981, but I think for someone that's coming out of a, you know, a 3-litre turbo 911 992, or, you know, a 991.2 turboed engine, and they're getting into something like that, it's a step up for me in terms of sound, interaction, involvement and driving feel. But I understand what people say, I understand what people mean when they say that the car doesn't feel as raw as the previous generation car. But for me, it's a great car. It's one that I would be very happy to own and enjoy, take on the occasional track day, but have some fantastic drives out, spec it with the bucket seats, and you know you're on a winner. You're on a winner. It's a super car. And the other great thing about the GT4, the 718, is that in the secondary market, in the used market, they are now at a level in terms of price point, and there's quite a few for sale, and you're not having to pay more than what the original asking prices were for the RRP. So that's another good thing for the enthusiast that couldn't get one. Now there are some very good spec examples about, and you can get yourself into one. So I think that's good for the Porsche enthusiast that was missing out and getting no's when he rang that dealer and no's when he rang the other dealer and this that dealer. So I think that's good news. Interest rates are so low at the moment, finance packages are great, so maybe it's time to get one. And I would be encouraging people to, if I had a choice, I would go for the 718 GT4, and I would put an aftermarket exhaust system on the back, and I think you're there, absolutely 110%. And the great thing about being in lockdown is I'm going through this bridge and I'm not paying Roger Whittaker anymore, because the toll bridge has ceased operation due to the lockdown. Does he need another 12 pence from me? I don't think so. Anyway, one of my bugbears, let's not talk about that too much. So let's talk a little bit more about what's coming up on the channel. Now we're into 2021.
Whoa!
And we've reviewed a few cars that have sort of been out for a while. I thought it'd be nice and timely to perhaps review another 911. So we're hopefully going to be reviewing a 992 Carrera S. So that's coming up on the channel, and then hopefully we'll be able to get access to some of the 911s. The apex model of the 911 Turbo S. Hoping to be able to get one of those. And my daughter's now on my phone and
could you put the
interrupting my video. The joys of parenthood. But Emily loves the cars, you know. She comes out of the car. She comes out, you know, with me, don't you, darling? You come out.
I want to tell you something, guys. I really miss that yellow car, because, you know.
Oh, the Spider.
It was just. He got it for his birthday. No, that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And well, you know, in time,
we're hoping we're going to get another one.
Yeah, actually, we have some news.
No, we don't have some news. I don't think we have some. Not yet. We don't.
But Dad might be getting a blue Porsche next year.
A blue Porsche.
So you might see that up on the channel next year or something. Yeah.
I think that might be information you get from your crystal ball from Christmas. That's not quite.
I've always wanted him to get a pink, but it's never happened. It's never happened.
Ruby Stone would be nice.
My mum wants a pink Mini, but we all know that's never gonna.
Yeah, the Mini. Yeah. Okay. So so the 992, we'll hopefully get some of those on the channel, and also I'm hoping I can also drive the Lamborghini Urus, the family car that will excite you on the way to the cinema and back, or you're all out for a meal. And that's a very exciting car. You remember seeing that Top Gear review? Yeah, exciting. So there we go. So that's what hopefully will be coming up on the channel in the not too distant future. So hopefully you've enjoyed the recent content. Thanks very much for those of you who are getting in touch with us and commenting on the videos, also messaging me on Instagram. I've had some really nice emails from people who have chosen to go to the Porsche Centre Kendal for their to satisfy and quench their thirst for Porsche. Yes, I've given the guys a ring there, and I know of people who've purchased Porsche cars from them. So thanks very much for that, because they're a super centre, and their new facility on the M6 there, Carnforth, Porsche Centre South Lakes, it's going to be a super facility, and I'm hoping we can do something with them, you know, Drive Venture Club, perhaps later this year, maybe into 2022, as the club builds, we'll be able to have an evening there together. So just some thoughts and plans ahead. So let me talk a little bit about the Driving Venture Club. And again, thanks very much for those of you who contacted me, got in touch with me, emailed me, messaged me, and are quite keen for me to, you know, press on with it and do something with it. And I want to just talk a little bit around why I want it to be a little bit more inclusive. And again, that's not to knock other clubs that do things their way, and that's fine. And I think I'll continue to be in Supercar Driver, and I'll continue to do the meets and stuff and trips that they put on, because I think they do an amazing job and they deserve to be supported, and their trips are first class. But I think that there is a community of drivers who don't have the top end cars, and you know, the most expensive cars, and don't meet that criteria, or you know, would like to have something that's more middle of the road. So what are some of the things that I want to be doing with the club and with the community that we can hopefully build in the years ahead? Well, I think the first thing I want to do is I want it to be based around cars, but I want it to be very social. So it won't just be about driving your car, although that'll be right at the heart of what we do. But you know, I want to put some exciting stuff on where you're not in your car. So I want to put some karting nights on. I want to put some meals out, different cuisines, different places, different towns, different settings. Because nothing better than getting with your pals and having some great times and some great food, some great laughs. And I think that's something which the club's got to have. It's got to have a community of people who want to have a great social gatherings, great social times, and I refer to them as great times. And I've had so many great times. The trips I've put on. Again, if you haven't seen my Highlands video we did in October together, watch it, because that's what we do, and it's a great thing. And I think that adds on to the ownership of the car. In addition to that, you know, we want to be doing drives, so we want to be picking the best roads in the northwest, going up towards Scotland, of course. So we want to have drive days where we're going out and have decent day's drives, maybe covering a few counties, pit stopping for lunch, that type of thing. And we want to be capturing it with super photography. We want to be capturing it with a video. We want to be capturing what we're doing. So, you know, you can look back at that and say, oh, well, I did that, and oh, that's my car, and that's my car in a drive-by, and all the rest of it. So that's what I want to be doing. And then obviously for something where we're spending a bit more time together, it will be the tours. So, you know, there's going to be the Scottish Highlands trip, which we'll put on every year. Hopefully we'll be able to do more than one of those to the Highlands, because, you know, it's not like I don't like being up there in that fantastic scenery and those amazing roads. So, you know, things like that, the tours. We'll do Wales, you know, we'll do the borders, we'll do a Northern Counties trip, things like that, with overnight stops and weekends away and things like that, which I think we'll all love and look forward to. And then I think as well as it grows and expands, you know, I want to be getting into the European scene again, which is not for everyone's budget, but you know, the thing about the club will be is that it's not going to be, you know, super expensive, because, you know, I think you can have just as much of a super time. You don't necessarily have to spend super amounts of money. So I think, you know, I'd love to do something in Europe, in the Alps around there, mountains and passes, roads, things like that, but also something that doesn't really get covered a lot off in videos and things I've seen is the Pyrenees and in Spain. I mean, I've been to Spain, I've driven the roads in Spain, and they are very good, and they're an awful lot quieter. So there's things there that I think we can ultimately get towards doing and doing together. So that's the kind of flavour for the things I want to be doing. You know, being able to, you know, bring people together, have some great times. I think I've got to start it initially. Excuse me. I think I've got to start it initially around Porsche ownership, things like that. But I am very mindful that there are people who've got hot hatches, and this brings you back to the Toyota GR. I'm just following here now a very, very lovely example of a Ford Focus ST in red. A lovely car. You know, what's out there for him? What's out there for someone that's got the Golf GTI? What's out there for someone that's got the, and I'll get slapped for saying it, you know, the Civic Type R, the Subaru, the Mitsubishi, and all the rest of it. So whether we can move and encompass more people from more driving communities and do more things for them in time, then I hope we can, because I want it to be inclusive and I want it to be affordable for every, if you like, layer of car ownership, from the people who get into their first sort of sports car. I mean, my first sports car really was the Type R, but then after that we progressed into other cars, you know, and I got into the M3 things and things like that, you know. This car's got the beams when you want it. So, you know, I think when I think back to when I had those cars, you know, I aspired to the other cars that I would want to own in the future. And Emily will now not be on my phone for the rest of this year. So that's what I want. I want it to be a club for everybody in time to suit your budget that you've got, because it can't all be, you know, I've got an RS, I've had other supercars in the past, not supercars, but you know what I mean, but nice cars, and you know, not everyone can afford those, and where are those people going to go to have a great time? If a group of lads who've got Golf GTI to the Highlands or Hot Hatch Highlands tour, fantastic. I mean, go along and be part of that and film that and enjoy that. Amazing. And I think they'll have a great time. So that's really where I want to take it. So we'll see what happens. As I say, we're not in a rush. At the minute, it's giving me time to think about how I'm going to do it, because it's the middle of coronavirus lockdown, the third one. Absolutely crazy. Okay, you're probably wondering, what watch am I wearing today? You might have caught a glimpse of it earlier on, but let's get into the watches now a little bit more. And let's talk about this one today, which is the Rolex 16610 Lima Victor Luna Verte. The green bezel sub. A watch that came out in 2003 and caught a lot of people by surprise. And why I think anyone who is seriously wanting to be collecting Rolex watches should be considering one of these in the mix.
Speed camera reported ahead.
That's right, thanks for the reminder, but again we're going the other way. Well, in 2003 when it came out, the Qs, I think that was probably around the first time that the Rolex Q got massive, and getting one early on was just super hard. And there's been so many different variations of this watch that the very first ones, if you can, or you did get one, that's the one to have to own, because in the early Y serial and F for Foxtrot serial, they had a slightly different dial with a slightly squashed, more oval S, and just little things on the dial that were a little bit different, the way it was spaced, where the Swiss made was, and the minute markers. But the big factor was the bezel itself, the green bezel, the number 4 in the 40 marker on the bezel, that had a flat 4. It's known as a flat 4. Now, those watches now, well, a mint example, probably what, 20,000, 25,000 pounds, new in box and worn, you know, could be more than that. So a watch at the time when it was released at around like late 2s, early 3,000 pounds, stratospheric return. And they have, I'll be honest, they have softened a bit in recent times. Now the Hulk's been discontinued and they've got the green and black bezel, green bezel and black dial, new Submariner. And the Hulk's all of a sudden just gone crazy, and you know, we're seeing prices near 20,000 quid and crazy 17,000, 18,000 pounds. I do think they'll soften a little bit, but the thing about, in my opinion, is that I do think this watch in my lifetime is going to produce some serious numbers in terms of asking prices, because you know, it's such a classic. The 50th anniversary of the Rolex Submariner launched in 1953, and it's just an absolutely super watch. I'll be honest, I don't wear it. I don't get it out of the bank. I don't get it out of the storage security facility I use. I don't because I don't really wear it that much actually. I find I prefer the black and steel look more. But anyway, I think it's a watch you've got to have if you are looking to collect Rolex, because I think it's a it's a hallmark piece, and it's a piece which I think I just love wearing it, and it's simple. You know, it's got the older clasp mechanism. It's got the you know, the flip lock bracelet, which is easier to use, nice and simple, and you know, it wears well. It's a little bit light on the wrist than the new steel watches. What I love about it is it's the old generation bracelet and case and bezel setup, so it's not ceramic, but it's got the maxi dial. You know, it's got the larger plots, which was the first time Rolex did it in a watch, and I think so. It kind of looks modern, but it's got that kind of older feel to it too. And the other thing about this watch is the bezel colours have changed over the years. So when they were first launched, they were like an olive green, and then they changed to like a deeper green. So I couldn't spend time today in this video going through all the different iterations of how this watch has been made, of all the different dial. I think there's 6 or 7 different dial, Mark 1 up to Mark 7, you know, different bezel colours. It just goes on and on and on. But if you look at the Rolex forums, look online, there's people out there that have done, you know, lots of research into this. It's not for me, I'll be honest, but anyway, it's a watch you could spend an awful lot of time learning about, and there are some great reviews on the watch online. But for me, I think it's a watch which you've got to consider, and I think the value is only going to shoot up as the years roll on. So I think it's one to consider, and I do think it goes so well in the wardrobe, clothes you've got in the wardrobe, different things you wear, and that, you know, I think it goes well. So even though I don't get out and wear it that often, it's not because I don't, you know, I want to protect how it looks and its wear and tear. It's more just I just don't wear it as much, I think, even though I do love wearing it. There's other watches I've got which I think I prefer to wear more. Anyway, we have arrived at Costco again for supplies. I think this one's going to want something after Costco. What's that, darling?
COVID-19, guys, COVID-19.
It's COVID-19, yeah, but what do you normally want when we're here? What do you normally go for?
Well, since I've got my debit card with me.
Debit card?
Yeah, can't...
Go Henry card.
I can't show it on camera.
No.
But, because I don't want anybody to know my detail of it. Shut up, Dad, please.
Here I am doing watch reviews on the channel.
But, yeah, I might get something because I've got my Go Henry card.
Yeah,
and I've got a pin on it. So
there we go.
I've got a pin on it.
Super.
Sorry, guys, if I can't
Go Henry, yeah.
Because
Because you're going to be 11 soon. Anyway, this month. Anyway, let's...
Guys, it's my birthday, 20th of January. I'm going to be 11.
Okay, super sassy, Emily. You're such a sassy girl. Love you to bits. Okay, here we go. So this is the Rolex. This is the Rolex Submariner.
I can't even with this
Anniversary edition.
Seriously.
Sometimes you do have see people refer to the ceramic version of the Hulk as the anniversary edition. Just sit back down because I'm just going to do a video.
Fine.
And it's not. This is the original and only anniversary edition sub that was ever made.
Dad, I've got an idea for your video.
Yeah, in a minute.
You know what you should do?
Yeah, in a minute.
You should do a watch video on your channel and
yeah,
show all your
that's
watches.
kind of what we're doing actually.
Huh?
Thanks very much.
Great.
That was your idea, maybe I thought.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the original anniversary Rolex Submariner. Okay, there isn't another one. Although sometimes get referred to as anniversary editions. And I know people that sold this watch, this type of watch, this version of the watch, and then they bought the ceramic version. And then after a little while, they realised, even though, yeah, it'd be lovely to own both, they actually wanted to get back into one of these, and then they just shot up in value, and they were harder to get. And it's always nice to have a watch you've had from new. Of course, these watches are no longer produced, so that again means that the value is only going to go up in years to come. And I would say, in my lifetime, this watch will get to £50,000. So as I say, the dial, it has the bigger plots, and it doesn't have that anti-reflective coating on the bubble for the date, magnifying the dates. Don't know if you noticed that over the Submariner video I did in the same reference. And the other thing about this watch is in the later years of its production, this is on an M for Mike serial. They went up to the random serial if you're looking to get one of those. But in the later serials, V serial, G serial, random serial, they actually put the anti-reflective coating on the glass. And the other thing they did in the later models, I think it was M serial, they put the Rehort in. So in the watch, inside the watch, under the glass, in the casing, they have what's called a Rehort, where the words Rolex, Rolex, Rolex go right round in a circle, and you get the motif at 12 o'clock. So that was a new thing, and the serial number is in the Rehort. They don't put it on the case anymore, they put it in the Rehort because that's part of the actual watch case. So that was something that Rolex did, and they stopped putting case back stickers on the back and things like that. So yeah, 1,000 metre water resistance, classic flip lock bracelet, and again, the longer you have this watch, the more it'll go up in value. I think this watch will get to £50,000 in my lifetime. You only have to look at other classic steel pieces Rolex have made. And again, it wasn't made for that many years. This wasn't made for a decade. So it was a watch that, again, production numbers will be relatively small, in my opinion. And you're seeing fewer and fewer of them coming up for sale on the secondary market. Super watch, quick date mechanism. Lovely bezel, nice and crisp. Turn that around there and time your parking meter or
that nice blue one that you have.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to other watches. I'm going to get them out one at a time, Emily, from the.
Yeah, you know what you could do? You should put them all on your wrist, going
rolly. So there we go. So that's the Rolex Submariner LV. It's a super watch. I certainly recommend anyone own, to get, if you can, own one, get one if you're an enthusiast. Again, it has the flip lock and extension mechanism in the back. So
I have something to say to all them.
Okay, well, when I finish talking about this, we'll put you on for the last little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do a part two. Maybe do something on the way home. Maybe we will. Tell you what, we will do that. On the way back, we'll put Emily on more. She'll talk about how great the cars are. So there we are, Rolex Submariner LV, original anniversary sub. I would have liked to have got the very early one. I wasn't able to at the time. I didn't have the means at that time, back in 2003-4, wasn't able to do that. But yeah, I'm glad I eventually managed to get one and actually love the watch. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what it's like doing YouTube, the return journey. A lot of people think when they see YouTube that it's just like this dead easy thing, and they see like the shots and they see what's going on. Maybe I should do a behind the scenes video, because to be quite honest with you, we'll set off and start doing a video about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then we'll probably be finished to interludes now, maybe around 3, something like that. Now we are getting a bit slicker and a bit quicker, capturing it and getting it all together. And then there's the edit, it takes about a day. Jake does that for us, he's super Jake, top editor. And we have Kieran along, he helps out with the camera capture, video capture. He's really good on the still shots too. As a ambulance comes up behind me. So it's not what some people might think. It's not easy. There are some YouTubers, it's just very straightforward. They're just pointing push. This is a little bit easier to produce in terms of a YouTube video, because you're just slapping really 2 segments together and then that's it. But when you want the polished stuff, you want the slow-mo, you want the drone, you want all that stuff going on, and it's very difficult. And you're still asking for a Starbucks and it's still no. So it is a lot of work, and then you put it out there, and also it costs money too. So that's why I'm thinking to myself, until the channel builds to a level where it gets something back in terms of ad revenue, I think a website ultimately will have the videos on with no adverts, and you'll get them first. YouTube will obviously just have the ads on. I thought the club will be a way of perhaps getting a bit back in terms of an income stream, so people can be part of things, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to make it affordable, and I want to make it inclusive, and I want to have different levels with it, so that everyone can have something for themselves to enjoy. And then hopefully when we go to brands and we get a hot hatch to review, we can put that into a video, or if we're reviewing a Porsche car, maybe that can be an experience in a video. So it's a bit more original than just going on a press day and everyone driving the same car, the same backdrop. I remember seeing a video, the 992 came out, and all the press went to Spain, and they all did the reviews in the car, and then they were all given like stock drone stuff of the red car in the mountains in Spain. And I thought to myself, you know what, it's not a very original video, that is it. But of course, they all get these embargoes. They all say, right, you can now put your video out now, and then they all launch the videos. They're all clamouring after views and hits, and everyone's got a different approach and different flavour. My flavour's my flavour, and I want to try and keep it as original as possible. So, do you want to say anything, Emily? Because we're going to wind it up. Or are you still huffing and puffing about your Starbucks?
Mum will get me one.
Okay, we'll see what happens. So, thanks very much for watching today's video. I am just coming over the Manchester Ship Canal on my way home. Thanks very much for watching. Check out the Submariner LV. They are for sale. They're a brilliant watch, I think. Certainly one for a collection if you are collecting them. Absolutely stunning watch. Check out the videos coming out on the channel later this week on Sunday. And as always, I'll see you next time.